you to clean that car, right? So there's that, just consider that as a thought process, right? But the other thing is if you want to take yourself away from that, what this guy did is he just added this little sheet, right? And it's a Word doc, you can make it say whatever the hell you want to make it say. And during when people are dropping their car and they sign their authorization, he simply asks them to tick, right, or draw an X on whichever wash they want done to their car while it's at his store. Now y'all can read, the courtesy one's free, right? Okay, and you can see what they do, right? The silver wash, which quite honestly is what he does on every car, which is what y'all all do on maybe even a step further, would you not agree? This is the wash you do right now, this one or this one, at your store every time you fix a car, okay? Forget the dollars, I'm just talking about what you do to the car, okay? So, silver, exterior wash, vacuum, clean windows, clean wheels, wipe down dash, right, okay? But the point is you're doing this no matter what. Would you agree? To deliver the car and make someone happy, you have a good CSI. If you let people, if people have this written out like this and they just tick it, what this guy has come back and told me is that 50% of the people who come in tick that $15 wash. He was doing it anyway, you see what I mean? He was going to do it anyway, no matter what, but now he's getting $15 for it. Does that make sense to everybody? So, and it's a no pressure thing, it's just, hey, here, just choose which one you want. If it's the free one, that's cool. If they choose the free one, now that they announce it at the store, they're still going to get this. Do you see what I mean? They're not going to just half-ass wash it because it's the free one. They're going to do the same wash, you know? My point is if you could just look at it like this, if you could get 50% of the people who come through your store give you $15 to wash the car, what would that do to your bottom line? So look at your RO count. And that money's straight to the bottom because you're not getting it right now, right? Even if 25% of the cars come in, right? So again, just consider that. That's an easy thing to do and no pressure at all. The only thing I would tell you is this guy's got like a $300 detail where he has an extractor and he shampoos and all. If you don't do that, then just don't put that on here, right? Just make it match what you do, right? And you'd be shocked you're going to have some people that are going to want to give you $100 to detail their damn car on the way out. It's going to happen, you know? And then you're going to actually get revenue for something you're already doing. Make sense? All right. Easy money. Well, it wants me to talk about repair planning, but that's way too long of a conversation. So we talked a little bit about repair planning, but I will tell you this. If you want to get better at, and we already talked about this, so that's why I don't want to think about it too much, but if you want to get better at getting paid for what you do, it's really about finding that stuff up further in the process. We technically end up finding everything we need, for the most part, to put a car back to pre-wreck by the time it goes home. We just find it in bits and pieces in our current state, right? And then by the time we get to the end, we're eating things, cars are staying maybe longer than what they should, all of those kind of stuff. Yen kind of said it earlier, or Mitch, or one of them did, that if we can start doing all of this stuff at disassembly, validating paint, finding all the parts that we actually need to fix a car, because quite honestly, that's what stops a car from going home, is our piss poor disassembly, and we don't find all the parts. And we're just like okay with it in this industry, right? Like, oh, we'll just get it on the supplement. It's cool. It's not cool. They can find it. I don't care what your body tech says. I have shops that do it right now. We just allow them to have that crutch that it's okay that they have S4 by the time it hits the ready line or the detail line, and it's not, you know, it's not professional at all. But use the supplement forms, consult with your painter. The digital camera thing, that's coming if you don't have it. Like this thing says here, what if you could eliminate supplements, what would your life be like? I mean, that sounds kind of crazy, right? But I'll tell you, this is not a repair planning class, but we have shops, not a ton of them, but we have shops across the country that are running well into the 70% accuracy range after disassembly. No supplements on 75-ish%. I have some that say they're at 90%. Some that have been working on this for a long time, right? So if you're, again, if you were even supplement free on half of the ROs that come through your store, can you imagine what that would do to you? From a stress decrease to a money making increase to you name it, right? So it's all about the accuracy, right? So our goal is to eliminate supplements. We're just focused on refinish actions. What would be included? Blend areas. What needs to be R&I. We've talked about upfront color verification. Repair versus replace needs to be determined. Verify needed refinish materials on the job, like a very expensive toner if we had to have it, right? Or seam sealers or any of those other kind of things that we may get. And map the repair area. I already talked about this a little bit. When do most shops verify color? Most shops verify color either right before the booth or inside the booth. Again, not to beat a dead horse, what I'm telling you is there are tools out there now where you can verify color much further up in the process as opposed to waiting for it to get to paint. If you just do that, you'll have a positive gain, right? Okay? Not going to do that exercise. I'll talk about this and then I think we're done with the getting paid for what we do piece. So I'm going to jump through another exercise. I apologize. But what I wanted to show you is that overcoming these caps, how do we presently handle material caps? It's a fair question. Any of y'all have any kind of answer for me on how you fight material caps right now? I'm like on page 77, by the way. Sorry. Do y'all fight them at all, or do you not get capped in Houston? That only happens in Dallas? I mean, what the hell? Huh?
You can.
Yeah, you get capped.
I mean, if you're, like I said, if you're part of the ERP.
Right, and but I mean, you get capped probably by people who you aren't even on an agreement with. And then what do we do? When that happens, what do we do? Do we fight back? Do we accept it? Do we?
We always invoice them. UIOs provide us with a spreadsheet. It looks very similar like an invoice.
Yeah, it looks like that, right?
Because we got it from there.
Because it's ours. That's where we think they got it.
So they told us, I forgot what it was. We forgot what it was, but we were sure to change the logo, of course. So
Sure, yeah.
we removed our shop logo and put UIO.
Yes, oh yes, God, did you have yours on it to start with?
Yeah,
you don't want to do that.
No.
Either put UIL's logo or Axon Nobel's logo. That's what you want.
So we did that, and it's pretty simple. You type in the refinish hours and 36 or 34, whatever you're getting.
Right.
And it'll break it down. It's pretty cool.
I'll show you how.
And you can even mark it up. And we've gotten away with it about 70% of the time.
Yeah, because again, most of these adjusters who come into your store, what they're really looking for is for us to prove it. So and what I mean by that is by you handing them that invoice and them being able to put that in their file, when they go back to Allstate, just using them for an example, and they're at, their boss pulls them to the table and says, "Why in the hell did you pay for this?" And he's like, "Well, this is why." It's a CYA thing for them. They need that. They've got a boss at the other end that's chewing on their butt. So it can't just be some arbitrary number that we came up with.
I've added a couple lines to that. A spot for our shop RO, the customer's last and first name, the VIN of the vehicle. I think that's
Yeah,
the
you can-
PIN code. The PIN codes.
Right. So
That's it.
this is what he's talking about, and it's just, we can make it customized to any of y'all. This happens to have Axo's logo on it, but it can be UIL's, it doesn't matter. Just don't make it your shop, because then it looks like, you're making stuff up, which you kind of are a little bit, with this tool anyway. Because it's not pulling from the database, it's pulling. Here's why you shouldn't feel bad about it, is because they do the same thing to you with their math equation right now. So this is really the same thing. It's using averages and but the real numbers, right, of how it gets to so the formulas in the background are kind of make your head spin a little bit, but someone smarter than me made this thing, so it works. What's cool about this is that, to your point, right, you put two numbers in. I've got 15 hours at 36 an hour. Poof. I have an invoice.
What is it, Ron?
Huh?
What are your total costs?
Right now, $539.46.
We can cap that at 350.
Right. And you could be capped at 350. The other cool thing is that, so you can completely manipulate this tool. Don't ever let the insurance industry see how this tool is built, because they'll discount it right away. I can go to this thing, and if you'll watch the numbers, oh man, that's kind of hard to see. But anyway, I can mark it up. See that? So if I want to mark it up 10%, and if you'll notice, it moved everything up as I went, right? So what's cool about this tool, and I don't know if you've had this happen yet or not, but what you can't see,
Like the uncheck the,
yeah. Does it show up now? Shit.
maybe move over the projector to the
Yeah, I know.
right a little bit.
Then I'm gonna be unhappy that I moved the projector, but yeah, you're right. So what's cool about the tool is that if, right, you create this invoice, okay, and the adjuster comes in and says, okay, I get it that you need more money on this deal, but I really don't think I should have to pay for miscellaneous cleanup supplies, okay? Just using that as an example. You can say, all right, dude, though you should pay for it, quite honestly, I'm not gonna sit and argue with you over $7. Let me call the paint company and have them send me a new invoice so we can move on to the next thing. So he turns his back, you go back to your computer, you simply uncheck miscellaneous cleanup supplies, it zeroes it out, you print the thing and say, here you go. Okay, see what I'm saying? But you need to do it on your own deal. So what's cool about this tool is it can reside on your computer, it can be anywhere, you can completely manipulate it. It's not that it's not real, it's just that it's not pulling your exact data. Now on the flip side, if you mix across the scale, you can pull from Mixit what your actual mix was, right? And you could invoice them that way too. It does have some fuzzy math built into it too, because you've got to build the allied math into it, right? Because no one's billing for a sheet of sandpaper one at a time, right? So the argument back to the insurance company would be the same thing that they say to you, right? Which is, I can't bill you for every single thing. Obviously, there are some averages in there, just like the stupid math that you already used for me already. Does that make sense? So, you can debate that back and forth with them. But, to your point, most of them, if you print this thing and you're within reason and you hand it to them, most shop owners will tell me they get very little pushback.
Yeah, I use
Very little pushback.
I use it especially on like,
Caps.
I use caps and
It was originally made to fight caps. Yeah.
and like special, like I keep going back to RR and metallics, pearls. I use it a lot, and I use that and mix it pro, or what's it called?
Yeah.
This mix it pro.
Mix it pro.
And I'm kind of just looking at both.
Compare them. Yeah.
And it's,
Yeah.
I try to get every insurance company with it, with the
Yeah.
VRP, of course.
Yeah, so see, I take this as, and again, I'm not telling y'all what to, I have shops that have actually gone down this path, by the way. So, I personally, I said it earlier, I personally think you should invoice them on every single frickin' RO. And to me, it's a pretty easy debate. They're not gonna like it, but it's gonna be hard to debate.
Can I get that?
Huh?
Can I get that?
What, this tool? Oh yeah, for sure, man. Just grab my card before you get out of here, email me and say, hey, send me that invoicing tool and I'll
If
pop
you
it up
guys
to you.
email it to anybody, just be real careful to save it as PDF, not.
Yeah, don't send them
the
the
actual
Excel file, yeah.
One of my guys actually did that, and, yeah, all help.
All hell broke loose then. So yeah, no, you're more than welcome to have that tool, anybody, we can get it to you. What I was gonna say is that you can make an argument, right? Like I said, I personally think we should bill them on every single car because every car's cost is different, right? So Again, the green toner, the red toners, the blue toners, none of them are the same price, are they, buddy? No. So why should the insurance company get to just pay an average, right? Which is what they're basically doing to you right now. And quite honestly, it's not even a good average, right? Like there's no math behind it. It's just an arbitrary, this is what I'm going to give you average, right? So my point is, and again, I'm not saying that they're going to roll over, but it's a very hard debate to have if I go to State Farm and say, okay, look, man, look, I'm done. I'm going to provide you an invoice on every single car, and they're like, why? Because why I just told you guys is the white toners, the green. I may even go so far as to have Mitch print me out a toner list at refinish, not at my price, and say, what do you see on this page, Johnny State Farm? Well, I see a lot of different prices. Oh shit, I don't pay the same for these toners. You see what I'm saying? So I can get into this debate with them and really quickly go back to that path, which is you decided to insure the red Camry. You didn't call Greg and ask his opinion. The red Camry's toner is more than the green Camry toner. You owe for that toner. You see what I mean? So again, I'm not saying that's what you should do, but I am telling you, it's a very difficult debate for them to have. It's